Hi, my name is Rokas, and I'm gonna be your host for Dungeon Goblin, where we make stuff for tabletop games. Basically, what we're gonna do today is we're gonna make some easy Papercraft terrain. Long time ago, when I started this hobby, I did not know about foam and beautiful terrain and dioramas and all that kind of beautiful stuff. I didn't have the tools, right? I didn't even know about foam projects because I live in a tiny country. We didn't even have the battle mats. Yeah, I know, it's travesty. Now I started cutting out dungeon 5x5 tiles as a a battle grid and stuff like that, but I found quickly that it was a very interesting idea to have because you can easily map out dungeons. It's so light that I think it's even lighter than the battle mat itself, even if it's full folder of card and paper and all that kind of stuff. So I'm personally a traveling DM, and as a person that travels to another place to play D&D, I cannot take all of my foam crafts with me and build town, and I'm just gonna take this humongous tower, gonna go with it, right? I'm just leaving with my phone, and I'm gonna travel every single week like this. Are you stupid? You're not gonna do this. Disgusting piece of... And whoop-de-doop-de-doo, I just came back with my phone. Really? Really? You think that's gonna work? It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work for you as a traveling DM. Even if you're having modular terrain and all that kind of stuff, what you gonna do? Put it in the box? If you don't have a car or something, but I don't drive. I know, go figure why, but so necessity brews creative solutions, and this is what I got. If you have a lot of paper crafts, you can just take it in your backpack and it's gonna be even lighter than your battle mat. And about battle mats themselves, I mean, everybody likes to draw, but nobody likes to clean that up, right? And it just becomes this kind of a tedious moment in your game where everybody is just scrambling their minds how to scrub this battle mat, and if you don't do it, basically in the long run you will have a battle mat that is filled with stupid sigils and stupid dungeon walls and stuff like that, and just becomes a little bit immersion breaking, right? And another thing about Papercraft, I think it has a lot of good, interesting ways how to use it in your games to enhance your game. I think it's probably the easiest terrain that you can craft yourself. I think you already have the tools necessary to build this kind of thing, and you can craft along this video if you get them right now. I will not wait for you, but I will continue. Okay, it's time to craft this thing, and basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a template that will help you with your Papercraft. So you can use any kind of these things, but basically what I used was a pencil, a cardboard paper, something to punctuate the holes with, and a ruler. So I started out by mapping out an A4 format paper into this grid, basically, and cut it down the X's that didn't really had inch by inch tiles. So I punctuated that with a flywheel. I tried that with a pointy stick, but that's not great. And afterwards, what I did was I decided to make circles. I did that because if I would ever need to map out a circular structure, I could just put some holes into it and have better measurements in my craft. So after that was done, put some holes just to really have a place where I could just put my pencil and indicate where the line should be. And basically that's how you can make a Papercraft grid system that is gonna be pretty useful. So it's also good for your foam projects, and I started to use that more because if I want to make some playable terrain, that is actually the way to do. And yeah, my measurements now are pretty okay, and now look, if you just cut it out a couple of shapes, right, that's gonna be enough for you to build a dungeon pretty easily. Bam, one hallway, another hallway, a third hallway, circle room, square room. Basically, you have yourself a dungeon. How much time we spent here? Like 30 seconds. That's it. You can actually just prototype your dungeon pretty easily if you're just doodling around, making, dungeon encounters and all that kind of stuff. Make yourself a master template, which will help you in the future, trust me. It's gonna help you not only just by giving your players a visual aid, but if you're gonna decide of making these things, it's gonna make your crafts a little bit easier. It's an easy craft that you can make, and it actually helps your players tremendously with just understanding the whole dungeon and the whole surroundings that your players are in. It's still gonna be better than having nothing on the table to represent your dungeon and all that kind of stuff. I think that if you have more visual representation, that will bring less confusion to your table. And the problem with this is that you know, after some time, it just becomes tedious. It just becomes tedious, and if you have, you know, simple shapes that, you know, explain the whole terrain for you, so goddamn easy, why not do it? It just takes you a half an hour to cut some shapes, and guess what? You have yourself a goddamn dungeon. And after some time, like making this folder, I basically don't even need to make more paper crafts. When you have your party, which is so confused about how many feats there are till the enemy, and you're only just, you know, playing in the theater of your mind, it just becomes confusing. You're just walking around with your party, just diddling around, and then Yam just says to you, well, look at this, there's a goddamn mimic that's wanna lick your face. And then party's like, I'm just traveling 30 feet. Oh, I'm also trying to go to this mimic and stuff. I'm just diddling around and shit. But guess what? Then the DM says, another mimic over there, a beer just teleported right here, and where the f are we? How much faith to this bear? How many feet is that? It's just a cluster. That's what it is. You know what's worse about this is you don't use Papercraft. How about that? What, you're gonna use a you know, like a ruler and shit? You're gonna counter this thing? Really? Really? Are you gonna do that, you stupid son of a? Just use some paper, goddamn Papercraft this thing. Just put your miniatures on top, and then you can clearly see what's happening, where the beer disappeared. Jesus Christ, this is a disgrace how people and DMs don't use simple things to enhance their games, okay? You can actually use it in a creative fashion. So for instance, if we have a hallway and there's like one human there, if you roll perception high, you maybe can see that a door or something. If the roll is higher, end of the hallway. It can give you these small moments where you can actually enhance the game and reveal something. You know, finds a lever. If he pulls it, maybe a small door just collapses and reveals a secret room. That is fun because you can actually create the dungeon on the fly and reveal it as, you know, with the player's checks and all that kind of stuff. For instance, if something happens right now, I can have myself you know, combat encounter right on the spot. I have all the measurements, I have everything. It has so many great uses. It takes so little effort. I mean, if you're not using any terrain, come on, just give it a shot. I think your players will love it. Thing, you know, rearrange into something else. Good about it is also these kind of shapes. You can actually, that looks totally like a Hey, okay, let's, no,
that's quite big.
Let's make this not a
impressive.
Oh, yip-de-dip-de-doo. Like, what the should I do? Fuck. Anyways, I'm being angry right now. Worship me and I'm kidding. I just want love and appreciation because mama didn't get me none. Hey, it's nothing fancy here, right? It's just Papercraft. It just shapes with the grid on top, and that's it. But it's a goddamn honest YouTube video. That's it. That's it. That's what I got to offer for you. If you like this video, give it a like, subscribe to it, and ring the bells, and you will have me every single week trying to make something for D&D. Doesn't matter what it is. It just, I'm gonna make stuff. I wanna make stuff. I'm a maker. I'm a creator. I'm a person.